Hello all, welcome to Paritranaya. In this class, we shall discuss about an important topic, that is devices of parliamentary proceedings. So we have already witnessed parliamentary proceedings, or generally we witness parliamentary proceedings when we look into the debates of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So we see that some people are asking questions and some people are answering to them. So all these various events or things that happen in the parliament, we call it as parliamentary proceedings. So in this class, we shall see what are those various parliamentary proceedings, how any discussion is initiated in the parliament, how a discussion is terminated, how decisions are taken, okay, and how the government is kept under check through various tools. So let us start with devices of parliamentary proceedings. So here we have already seen about the different sessions. So in 1 year, we have generally 3 sessions, which we have already seen. So one will be budget session, next winter session, and summer session. Okay. Not summer, sorry, it's monsoon session. Budget session, monsoon session, and winter session. There are 3 sessions in a year. Next, we already seen that. So whenever a session has to be called, so who will call the session? President will call the session. So what is that called as? It is called as summon. So president will issue summon, and when the session is over, when it gets over, so president will ask all of them to return back to their homes, so that we call it as provoke. So now let us assume, let us take budget as an example, budget session as an example. So when we say session, normally it goes for a month. So let us assume it starts on February 1 and it will end on February 28. Okay, just a simple assumption. Let us assume that budget session will go for 1 month. So in this period of 1 month, so Lok Sabha members will come and sit in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha members will come and sit in Rajya Sabha. So each and every day there will be multiple sittings, morning sitting, afternoon sitting, and all. So every sitting has to begin with some activity. So not every session, every sitting has to begin with an activity. So on February 1, so what will be the first activity? From 9 to 10 a.m. Okay. That activity is question hour. Okay. Every day the first session is devoted to question hour. Now next the question arises. What is this question hour? So question hour involves that somebody will ask a question and the other will respond. Now the next question arises. Who will ask question? Who will respond? And why should someone ask question? Okay, so this is the next question. So let us just look into it. So we know that our parliament or when I say parliamentary proceedings, it means I am referring to either Lok Sabha proceeding or Rajya Sabha proceeding. So whatever is present in the Lok Sabha proceeding, the same applies to Rajya Sabha as well. There are few exceptions. As and when we encounter those exceptions, I will start discussing about those differences. Okay. Until then, let us confine our discussion to Lok Sabha. So the same applies to Rajya Sabha as well. Okay, Rajya Sabha as well. Now, we know that in Lok Sabha we have 545 seats. In Lok Sabha we have 545 seats. So among them, let us assume 300 are from BJP. Okay, and let us assume there are 245 seats of Indian National Congress. So we have already discussed in the previous class that who will form a government in this scenario? The party which enjoys the majority will form the government. So what is the definition of majority? Here the definition of majority is that those who will secure 273 seats. It means 545 divided by 2 is 272.5. So when you convert it to a whole number, we will get 273. So whichever party gets 273 seats, so that party will be called as a majority party and that party will form a government. So in our example, this 300, it is more than 273, whereas here this is less than 273. So who will form the government? BJP will form a government. So when I say BJP will form a government, what happens? So here we have government. Let us assume this is parliament, this is Lok Sabha, and this is government. So what does the government consist of? It consists of ministers or council of ministers, okay, headed by prime minister. Council of ministers headed by prime minister. So approximately all these days we have been taking an example as 50 members. Okay, so it may be more or less, but let us assume there are 50 ministers including Prime Minister. So when we say government is being formed, so these 50 people, they'll come from which party? So they'll come generally from BJP itself. Now for time being, I will ignore Rajya Sabha because we already discussed that ministers can be, a Rajya Sabha member can also be made a minister. But for time being, in order to make our discussions easier, we shall assume that only Lok Sabha members have been made ministers. So it means in these 300 members, around 50 will go here. Okay, 50 will become ministers. Go in the sense they will become part of ministers as well. Now next, among these 300%, one will become speaker. Okay, one will become speaker. So now how many are left? 249. Why 249? Because 50 have become ministers, one has become speaker. Now these 50 ministers, they are playing dual role. What is that dual role? They are members of Lok Sabha, also at the same time they are ministers. Okay, so in India it is this possibility is there. The same person will be a member of Lok Sabha and the same person will be a minister as well. Okay, a minister as well. So when I say Lok Sabha, it means I am referring to all the 545 members. All the 545 members. Among them 545 members, one is what? Speaker. Okay, speaker. Remaining are members and few among them are ministers. Okay, few among them are ministers. Now let us come back to this question. What is question hour? So who will ask questions and who will respond? So here we shall assume, or here we shall remember that. So all these 300 plus 500 and 245. Okay, so 544 members, they can ask questions. Okay, all except speaker. So speaker cannot ask a question. So except speaker, all the 544 members can ask questions. We can ask questions. But here, generally, those who are ministers, they will not ask question. And generally, those who are from the ruling party, these 300 members also, generally they will not ask question. So generally, the questions are asked by opposition party members. Okay. So just in order to make our discussions easier, so these 245 MPs who belong to Indian National Congress, they will ask questions. Okay, they will ask questions. Okay. So to whom they will ask questions? They will ask questions to these ministers. So questions will be in this direction. Next, answers will come in this direction. Okay. Lok Sabha MPs will ask a question to government, that is Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. Next, ministers will answer. Okay, ministers will answer. So whether ministers are bound to answer whenever a question is asked, should the ministers reply? Yes, they should reply. So why they are bound to reply? Because the person who is asking a question here, he is not an ordinary person. The person who is asking the question, he is a representative of people. Okay. So here, when somebody, let us assume MP1 asks a question. So when this MP1 asks a question, it does not mean that he is asking individually. He is asking question on behalf of the people whom he represents. He is asking question on behalf of the people whom he represents. That is why it is like people of India are asking question to the government. So in that scenario, government has to respond. Government has to respond. So at a superficial level, what we understood, members of Lok Sabha will ask question to the government and government has to respond. Okay, government has to respond. Okay, so when it is asking question, when members of Lok Sabha are asking question, there are different types of questions that they can ask. One is a starred question, another one is unstarred question. Okay, so what is a starred question and unstarred question? Now, let us assume first example. So person A will ask a question to, let us assume, Home Minister. Person B will ask a question to, let us assume, Defense Minister. So DM indicates Defense Minister, HM indicates Home Minister. So let us assume it's a starred question, it's a unstarred question. Unstarred question. So what a starred question means? A person will ask a question, Home Minister will reply orally. Okay, he will not give the reply in the written form, but he will give orally. So he will orally reply. Orally reply. So when he orally replies, so can A ask a subsequent question? For example, whatever after receiving the answer, if he wants to pose an extra question, then definitely he can pose extra question. Again, he will pose an extra question. So supplementary questions can follow. reply will be oral, supplementary questions can follow in case of starred question. Okay, starred question. In case of unstarred question, person B will ask a question. So here we have taken an example of defense minister. So defense minister will respond, but he will not respond orally, but through a written document. Okay, through written document he will respond. Through written document he will respond. So that is why, as he receives, person B receives the written document, he cannot immediately ask a next question. So there is no supplementary questions. Okay, in case of unstarred question, supplementary questions, subsequent questions cannot follow. Very important. Okay, very important. Another very important thing to remember is, in both starred question and unstarred question, when you ask a question, immediately you will not get a reply. First you have to ask a question by giving a notice of 10 days period. After 10 days you will get a reply, because the government does not have all the information ready at its disposal. So whenever a question has been asked, they have to compile the information and then they have to reply back. So that's why they require some period, and that period is 10 days. Okay, 10 days. Next, there are certain other questions, okay, which are of higher priority. So they are called as short notice questions. So in case of short notice questions, they will give a notice of less than 10 days. It means the person who is seeking the information will say that I require information within 10 days or within 5 days, within 6 days. Okay, in that sense. So such kind of questions are called as short notice questions. Okay, short notice questions. So if you understand this much superficially, that would be sufficient. Starred question, unstarred question, and short notice question. Next, once the question hour is over from 9 to 10 a.m. Okay. So after question hour, the actual business proceedings will start. For example, somebody wants to introduce a new bill. Okay. Somebody wants to introduce a new policy. Somebody wants to discuss something. So actual agenda will start. But from the end of the question hour to the start of actual agenda, there will be some gap period. For it may be a minute, it may be 2 minutes, or it may be 5 minutes. Okay. So that gap period, we call it as 0 hour. Okay. That gap period is called as 0 hour. So in India, there is a provision of asking questions in 0 hour as well. Okay, in 0 hour as well. So this concept of 0 hour, it does not exist in other nations. So it is an Indian innovation. Okay, we have not borrowed it from other nations, but it is an Indian innovation. Okay, Indian innovation. So very important. So we have been following it from since 1962. Okay, 1962. Another very important fact about 0 hour. Now we discussed about what different types of questions: starred question, unstarred question, short notice question, and all. So do we find the mention of these aspects in our constitution? In our constitution, do we come across terms called as starred question and all? No, they are not present in our constitution. Then where they are present? So we have a rules book. Okay, rules book for Lok Sabha, rules book for Rajya Sabha and all. So in these rules book, so those starred questions and unstarred questions, they have been mentioned. But when it comes to 0 hour, it is not even mentioned in rules of procedure book as well. So it is not mentioned even in rules of procedure book. Okay, even though it's an Indian innovation, it has not been mentioned even in that book as well. Next, it is informal. Okay, informal means prior notice is not required. Okay, prior notice is required. So immediately whenever you find that there is a time gap, so one person can stand and he can start asking questions during 0 hour. Okay, it's an Indian innovation. Important. Next, motions. So when it comes to motions, initially we get a lot of confused. What is this motion? And sometimes what we get stuck in the concept called as motions and will not be able to make progress. Okay. So just understand it at the superficial level. So do not try to dig deeper into exactly what is the motion, what exactly is the difference between the different motions and all. It will lead to confusion. Okay. So don't go into deeper aspects. So understand, we have already understood the demand of the examination. So from that demand, we shall understanding the meaning of motion at the superficial level. Okay, superficial level. Now what is motion? Now in Lok Sabha, okay, rather than using the term parliament, I will be using Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha, whenever we want to have any kind of discussion, okay, so that discussion has to be initiated. So how will you initiate a discussion? Somebody should first start it, right? So this procedure of initiating any kind of discussion, it requires what? Introduction of motion. It means you cannot have any kind of discussion in the Lok Sabha without a motion. So this you remember or you understand at the superficial level. So how does it work? So let us assume this is our Lok Sabha. This is our Lok Sabha. So we have member 1, member 2, member 3, member 4, next member 543, member 544. Let us assume one person is speaker. Okay. So that's why I have not shown 545. So one person here is a speaker. Now let us assume here in Lok Sabha we want to discuss about a bill. Let us assume I want to bring a new bill. Okay, new bill related to education. Let us assume I want to bring a new bill related to education. I'll call it as education bill. Okay, education bill. Now somebody has that idea that somebody wants to introduce that education bill. So how will you initiate the discussion here in the Lok Sabha? So first let us assume member 2. So person called as member 2, he wants to introduce education bill. Once he introduces it, then people will discuss and finally put it to vote. So before introducing, what person M2 will do, he will submit a motion to speaker. Member 2, he will submit a motion to speaker. So in that motion, what will be mentioned? He will mention that I want to introduce education related bill. Okay. So similar to Lok Sabha, in Rajya Sabha, member 2 or any other person, he will submit the motion to chairman. So here member 2 will submit a motion that I want to introduce the education bill in the Lok Sabha. Now speaker has two options. Either he will say yes or he will say no. Yes or no. If speaker says no, I cannot accept it, then what happens? That bill will not be discussed in Lok Sabha. If speaker says yes, if speaker accepts it, then what he will do? He will fix a date on May 20 at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. we shall have a discussion on the bill. So now speaker will allot the time. So once the time is allotted on May 20 at 3 p.m. all these members they'll start discussing about the provisions of education bill. Okay. So this is how the discussion on education bill started. So how it started? It started with the proposal of a member called as M2. So he made a proposal to speaker and that we call it as motion. And that motion, once it was accepted, then discussions will start. And finally, if all the members are satisfied, not all the members, if 273 members are satisfied, then after discussion, they'll pass the bill. And once it is passed, then it will go to the other house, that is Rajya Sabha. Okay, that is Rajya Sabha. So here, motions, why they are used? In order to discuss any matter of general public importance. In order to discuss any matter of general public importance, we require a motion. So whether passing of education bill is a matter of general public importance? Yes. Okay. So we do not have a definition of general public importance, but any important matter, whenever we want to initiate a discussion, then we require a motion for the same. Okay. So when we are introducing a motion, so we require the consent, the permission of presiding officer. So as we have seen, we require the permission of speaker. Okay, speaker. Next, the question arises: who can move motions, whether ministers or private members? So here we need to understand who is a private member and who is a minister. Now we have already seen, let us assume there are around 544 members. So among them, let us assume M1 and M3, they are ministers. M3 and M4, M1 and M3, they are ministers. So M4 is not a minister. Okay. So this M4 is called as private member. A person who is not a minister is known as private member. That's it. Only that much you understand. So a motion can be moved by both ministers as well as private members, those who are not ministers. Okay, ministers. Next, these motions, they have been classified. They have been classified into various types. Okay. One is substantive motion. Next, substitute motion and subsidiary motion. Okay. So do not go into the deeper aspects of what exactly is the difference between substantive, substitute and subsidiary. Let us understand at the superficial level. So among these three motions, the important motion is substantive motion. So whenever you want to initiate a very, very important discussion, at that time, what kind of motion is required? At that time, substantive motion. Okay. So one example we have taken, that is impeachment. So what is impeachment? the process of removal of President of India, so that process we refer to it as impeachment. So whenever we want to initiate such kind of discussion, as we have already seen while discussing the topic called as President, that President's impeachment can be initiated either in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So all those processes we have seen. Okay. So when we want to initiate that process, we need to submit a motion to the Speaker if it is Lok Sabha, and we have to submit a motion to the chairman of Rajya Sabha if it is initiated in Rajya Sabha. So when we are presenting such kind of motions, so on important matters, such a motions, they are called as substantive motions. Substantive motions. Okay, example is impeachment of president. Next, substitute motion. Okay, just we shall try to remember about the substitute motion with the help of an example. Okay, with the help of an example. So let us assume Lok Sabha. Here we have speaker. We have M1, M2, M3, M4. M1 4 members of Lok Sabha. M3 or 544 members. Okay, 544 members. So they are discussing on a particular topic. Let us assume they are discussing on a particular bill. Let us take that same education bill. They are discussing on education bill. So when they are discussing on an education bill, let us assume all of a sudden there comes a news of an earthquake which has taken place in some part of India. Let us assume an earthquake has taken place in northeast. Okay, northeast. Somewhere in Arunachal Pradesh, earthquake has taken place. Okay, earthquake has taken place. Now, when it comes to education bill and earthquake, so earthquake enjoys a higher priority because now the problem of earthquake has to be addressed immediately. So now, rather than focusing on education bill, we want to switch our discussion to earthquake related things. So at that time, what we want to do, we want to pause the discussion on education bill, and we want to start with the discussion related to earthquake. So at such time comes the picture of substitute motion. So what does the substitute motion says? Alternative. Okay, supersedes original. It means originally with the help of a motion you are discussing, this is original motion. So now substitute motion. So with the help of substitute motion, what the original motion, that is education related whatever discussions we are doing, that will be superseded, and new discussion on earthquake in Arunachal Pradesh will start. Okay, so this is about substitute motion. The third one is subsidiary motion. Again, within this we have ancillary motion, superseding motion, amendment. So initially it will lead to a lot of confusion. So just ignore these things. At the superficial level, we shall understand what is subsidiary motion. Okay, what is subsidiary motion? Now we took an example of budget session. So what happens in budget session? Okay, every day, day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. Okay, so on, it continues. Now let us assume on day 1 at from 3 to 5 p.m. At 3 to 5 p.m. we were discussing about education related bill. On day 2 from 3 to 5 p.m. we discussed about education related bill. Now as it's time up, at 5 o'clock we have to close the Lok Sabha. Again we have to initiate the discussion the next day. Okay, that is day 3. Now day 3, when we start, again we want to have a discussion on education bill. So where we had stopped yesterday, from that point onwards we want to start a discussion. Now comes the picture of subsidiary motion. So subsidiary motion says that yesterday we had initiated a motion on education bill. So now we are passing a subsidiary motion. It means we are giving a reference to the original motion, indicating that we want to start the discussion from where we had stopped. Okay, so subsidiary motion, what we will do? Reference to original motion. It means yesterday we were discussing about education related bill. So today, by giving a reference to it, we want to start the discussion from the point where we had stopped. Okay, where we had stopped. So this much information would be sufficient. Okay, so substantive motion, substitute motion, and finally subsidiary motion. Next, closure motion. Now every discussion should come to an end. Okay, every discussion should come to an end. Now let us consider that the discussion related to a bill, okay, a discussion related to a bill should come to an end. So let us take the education bill itself as an example. Education bill or education law. So whenever we say law, what does it indicate? It means it consists of set of rules. We already seen. Okay, so it consists of many rules. So let us assume the education bill which we were discussing, it consists of 100 sections. Okay, 100 sections. So section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, section 6, so on, section 100. So let us assume there are 100 sections. Okay, so different sections consist of different provisions. For example, somewhere let us assume section 3 says that there should be a school for population of 1 lakh. If there is 1 lakh population in an area, then there should be a school. This is just an imaginary provision which I introduced. Okay, So in this fashion, there will be multiple sections in our education bill. Now we want to discuss this education bill and finally conclude it. Okay, we have to conclude it. It means once the discussion is over, we want to pass this bill. Okay, either we want to pass the bill or we want to reject it. So how will we discuss, section wise or bill as a whole? Okay, how will we close this bill? So that comes under closure motion. So what is a closure motion? Cut short debate. It means already debate has taken place. Now next we have to just close it. So in order to cut short the debate, that has to be approved by the House. So someone will stand up and say that cut short the debate. Okay, cut short the debate. If 273 members raise their hands and say yes, it means the debate has been cut short and the discussion has been passed. Okay, has been passed. Now we shall look into the different closure motions which are available. Simple closure. Okay, simple closure. So in simple closure, what happens? All the sections, section 1, section 2, section 3, all the sections one by one they have discussed. After discussing all the 100 sections, one person will stand up and say, so the contents of the bill have been sufficiently discussed, so we do not have any kind of objection. Now let us put it to vote. Let us put it to vote. So when they put it to vote, if 273 members in Lok Sabha, they say yes, then the bill is considered as passed. Okay, the bill is considered as passed. So that is about simple closure. When section by section, all the sections we discuss, after discussing all the 100 sections, we subject it to passing of the House. Next, closure by compartment. So this is another type of closure. So closure by compartment. Here what happens? Rather than discussing section 1, section 2, one after the other, they will group the sections into various compartments. For example, section 1 to section 3, this is compartment 1. Section 4 to section 6, this is compartment 2, and so on, and so on. Now what happens? Here, rather than discussing section 1, section 2 and section 3 individually, this compartment as a whole will be discussed. Means all the sections, section 1, 2 and 3, they will be discussed together. They will be discussed together and then it will be put to vote. Okay, they'll ask, how many of you are okay with these sections? So 273 members will say yes. It means these sections have been okayed by Lok Sabha. Next they'll go to second section or second compartment, compartment 2. Again they'll discuss. After discussing, they'll put it to vote. So section 4, 5 and 6, how many of you accept it? So if 273 members say yes, they'll move to next compartment. In this fashion, when all the compartments, let us assume the last compartment is somewhere 33. Okay, so 33rd compartment. So after all the compartments have been put to vote, then what happens? The bill has been considered as passed by Lok Sabha. Okay, by Lok Sabha. So this is closure by compartment. Okay, closure by compartment. Next we have kangaroo closure or kangaroo closure. So what is this kangaroo closure? So here, important clauses and intervening clauses. The meaning we have to understand this meaning at a superficial level. Now clauses are nothing but sections. Now among these various sections, not all the sections will be important. Some sections will be important and some sections will not be important. So let us assume section 1 is important. Section 3 is important. Section 6 is important. Section 6 is important. Now, when the discussion of the bill is going on, what they will do? they'll only discuss about the important sections. Section 1 they will discuss, section 3 they will discuss, and section 6 they will discuss. They will not discuss about section 2, section 4 and section 5 because they are not important. Now, what is the parameter that they use in order to segregate between the important and unimportant parts? For time being, we shall just ignore it. Okay, we shall understand that section 1, section 3 and section 6 are important, so they will discuss only on those sections. But while putting to vote, rather than section 1, section 3 and section 6, they will put all the sections together for voting. Okay, for voting. And if 273 members say yes, then the whole bill will be considered as passed. So here what we understood, important clauses plus intervening unimportant clauses, all of them, they are put together for voting. Okay, for voting. Next, guillotine closure. So what is this guillotine closure? Undiscussed plus discussed. Now, while discussing, because of what want of time, we may not be able to discuss all the clauses or all the sections. Let us assume first 50 sections. First 50 sections we have discussed. First 50 sections we have discussed. So let us assume before starting the discussion on the bill, we have fixed 2 days time. Okay. So we have fixed 2 days time. So after two days also, we have not discussed more than 50 sections. We have not discussed more than 50 sections. So we do not have sufficient time. So at that time, what we will do? 50 sections which have been discussed plus 50 sections which have not yet discussed. All these sections will be put together for voting. Okay, for voting. And if 273 members say yes, then the bill will be considered as passed. Okay, bill will be considered as passed. Okay, so this much will be sufficient. So cut short the debate means if we want to close that discussion. So there are different ways of closing: simple closure, closure by compartment, kangaroo closure, and guillotine closure. Okay. Next. So already we have seen at the superficial level about no confidence motion and a few other motions. But now we shall discuss in detail about the few important motions. So one is privilege motion. So what is this privilege? Whose privileges we are speaking about? So we are speaking about the privileges of MPs or Lok Sabha MPs. Now this is our Lok Sabha, 545 members. Okay, 545 members. This is Lok Sabha. Now next, government. So government is nothing but Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. Okay, so there are 50 members. So we already discussed a few privileges. Now let us confine our discussion to one privilege. So the members of Lok Sabha, okay, members of Lok Sabha, 545 members. So they have a special privilege. What is that privilege? Whenever they ask for any information, they have to provide information. Okay, they have to provide information, provide info. So we have already seen in what? Question hour. MPs will ask questions and government will provide answers. So whether it is necessary on part of government to provide answers, yes, government has to provide answers. Why? Because the people who are asking questions, they are not ordinary people, but they are representatives of people. As they are representing people, so whatever the question the MPs will ask, it is like the people of India asking those questions. So when the people of India ask questions to the government, so government is bound to respond to it. Okay, respond to it. Now let us assume among these 545 MPs, one MP. Okay, MP, let us assume his name is A. So MP A will ask a question. So let us assume there are different ministers, 50 ministers. So among them, let us take an example of education minister. So here person A will ask a question. So to build a medical college, how much you have spent? How much amount you have spent? This question MP A will ask to education minister. Now education minister will respond saying that we have spent 1 crore. 1 crore. Okay. Now MP whose name is A, he will get to know from other sources that actual spending is not 1 crore but just 50 lakhs. They are saying that they have spent 1 crore but actually only 50 lakhs have been spent. So it means what happens? It means education minister has given a false information. It means education minister has given a false information, wrong information. So now privilege is being breached. Whose privilege is being breached? This person A's privilege is being breached. Why person A's MP A's privilege is being breached? Because MP whose name is A, he is a people's representative. So whatever the information he was supposed to get authentic data, so he has got wrong information. So his privilege has been breached. So whenever a MP's privilege gets breached, okay, what he will do? He'll be unhappy with the minister. So what he can do? He can move a motion against education minister. Okay, he can move a motion against education minister. So this MP, what he will do? He will submit. Okay, here we have speaker. So he will submit a motion to speaker. He will submit a motion to speaker. What he will say? He will say privilege motion. Okay, he will say privilege motion. So in that he will mention, I am unhappy with the information which the education minister has given, because the education minister has given a false information. So when MPA submits a motion to speaker, so speaker may accept it or he may not accept it. So if speaker accepts and a discussion takes place, and if that motion is passed, then it is like disapproval of the behavior of a particular minister. Okay, that should not happen. That should not happen. Okay. So privilege motion will be moved by MP when parliamentary privileges are breached. So example is withholding facts when they do not provide the information. And second example is wrong or distorted facts. Sometimes they provide information, but that the information will not be correct. It will be distorted. It will be false. Okay. So it acts as a censure. What is censure? Censure means disapproval. So disapproval of the behavior of a particular minister. Okay, particular minister. So that is about privilege motion. Okay. Privilege motion can be moved by a MP when his privileges are breached. Okay, privileges are breached. Next, calling attention motion. Okay, another very important motion. So again, same example. Here we have what? Lok Sabha. So MP1, MP2, MP3, MP4. So here we have government, Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. Now, calling attention motion. So whose attention we want to seek? We want to seek the attention of a minister. So let us take an example. Okay. So here Council of Ministers consists of different ministers. Okay. Education Minister, Health Minister, Defense Minister, and so on. So let us consider example of Home Minister. Home Minister. Home Minister. Now let us assume somewhere in some parts of India floods have arrived. Okay. Floods have arrived. So during floods, the responsibility of managing the floods, let us assume NDRF. Okay. NDRF. It's the responsibility of Home Minister. So Home Minister has to respond by deputing NDRF and all. So let us just assume. Now in that case, if Home Minister is not doing his work properly, okay, if he is not doing his work properly, so at that time, one MP, let us assume MP2, okay, he will submit a what? Motion to speaker. Okay, he'll submit a motion to speaker. So what he will say? Calling attention. Okay, so he'll submit a motion to speaker saying that I want attention of Home Minister. I want attention of Home Minister. Okay. So when this is accepted, then if this is discussed, then again it is like disapproval of the behavior of Home Minister. Otherwise, it can be interpreted in this fashion. So whatever the behavior of Home Minister is there, he is not doing his work properly, or it may be like a direction to Home Minister that whatever is going on in a particular place, there is floods and all, so please respond to it properly. Okay. So it is to seek the attention of a minister. So urgent public importance. I just took an example of floods. Again, very important. It's Indian innovation. Okay. So similar to the zero hour, calling attention motion is an Indian innovation, and it exists in India from 1954. But unlike the zero hour, with respect to zero hour, we saw that zero hour is not present in Constitution, zero hour is not present in Rules of Procedure book, but calling attention is present in Rules of Procedure book. Okay, very important. Okay? Very important. Now, similar to calling attention motion, we have adjournment motion. So one important difference that we need to observe here is, here we are seeking the attention of minister, but here we are seeking attention of House. Okay, attention of House. Okay, again, let us assume some discussions are going on in Lok Sabha related to what? Education bill. Okay, education bill. Education bill. But all of a sudden, somewhere an earthquake has taken place. So some person, he wants to bring to the notice of the house that an earthquake has taken place. So at that time, whatever the discussions that are presently happening, that has to be paused, and the discussions related to earthquake has to begin. It has to begin. So let us assume same person MP2, he will stand and he will submit a motion called as adjournment motion. Okay, adjournment motion. We'll say, please stop discussions about education bill. Let us start discussion about what? Earthquake. Okay, earthquake or flood. So here what happens? Whatever the discussions that are going on, that will be paused, and the discussions on earthquake will resume. So here also, definite matter of urgent public importance. So what is urgent public importance? In the constitution or in the rules of procedure book, they are not given any definition. Okay, so all these matters which we have took as an example, either it is passing of bill or earthquake, all these are matters of urgent public importance. Okay, next, very important is when it comes to calling attention motion, even a single person MP2 can submit what? Calling attention motion. But when it comes to adjournment motion, with the help of just one MP, it is not possible. So in order to submit a motion to speaker, so we require support of 50 Lok Sabha members. Only if 50 Lok Sabha members sign and submit a motion to speaker, then itself speaker can accept it. Okay, so that is why it is very important motion. Okay, so 50 members. Next, it involves censure. It means if this is passed, if adjournment motion is passed, it means the government is not doing its proper duty properly, and Lok Sabha is unhappy with the government. Next, very important, it cannot be used in Lok Sabha, in Rajya Sabha. So adjournment motion can be used only in Lok Sabha. It cannot be used in Rajya Sabha. It cannot be used in Rajya Sabha. Next, once adjournment motion has been admitted by speaker, then the minimum amount of discussion that has to take place is 2.5 hours. Okay, not less than 2.5 hours. Very important. Very important. Adjournment motion. Next, these are few of the restrictions that whenever we are moving an adjournment motion, it should be a definite matter, it should be a factual and of urgent public importance. Okay, only one matter. So multiple matters cannot be clubbed together in one adjournment motion. Next, adjournment motion should be a specific matter and it should not be a generic matter. Next, the things which have been covered under privilege motion should not be included as part of the adjournment motion. Next, the things which have already been discussed in the same session, the same things should not be brought as part of the adjournment motion. Next, adjudication. The things which are already under the whose cases are going on in the Supreme Court or High Court or in any other judiciary, so such cases should not be brought under this motion. Next, it should be a distinct motion. So all these things, they are not of that much importance. Just focus at the superficial level. Next, no confidence motion is a very, very important motion. Okay, very, very important motion. So from when it comes to UPSC, it focuses on no confidence motion repeatedly. So sometimes they ask a question like whether no confidence motion, this term appears in the constitution. No, nowhere in the constitution do we have a term called as no confidence motion. But this, the mention of this term we find in rules book. But in constitution we have a statement called as government or executive is responsible to Lok Sabha. Very important. Okay, what we have here, we have government, that is, or sometimes we also call it as executive, that is permanent executive, that is council of ministers plus prime minister. So whom they are responsible? They are responsible to Lok Sabha, that is 545 members. 545 members. So now government is responsible to Lok Sabha, executive is responsible to Lok Sabha, that is council of ministers headed by prime minister is responsible to Lok Sabha. Why should government be responsible to Lok Sabha? Because we have a government in order to administrate this country. Okay, so who should participate in the administration? The common people of this country should participate. But a country with 130 crore population, all of them, they cannot participate in the governance, okay, on day-to-day basis. That is why what we have done, we have chosen our representatives. Okay, so Lok Sabha MPs, so they are people's representatives. Okay, they are people's representatives. So even 545 people, people's representatives, on day-to-day basis, they cannot take decisions. So these 545 people, they have chosen 50 people as ministers. Okay, 50 people as ministers. Now, having a control over these 50 ministers is the job of Lok Sabha. Okay, why? Because Lok Sabha has selected these 50 ministers. Okay. Has selected these 50 ministers. Who has given power to Lok Sabha? People of this India have given power to Lok Sabha by electing them. So it means whatever this government does, it should satisfy the Lok Sabha members. Okay. So if Lok Sabha members are not satisfied with the performance of the government, then what Lok Sabha can do? It can remove the existing government, and bring a new government. So who has this power? To remove the existing government, Lok Sabha has the power. Okay. So who will be in power, or who will form the government? The party which has support of more than 273 members, they will form a government. So if less than 273 members support the government, it means the government does not exist, government has to resign. So Lok Sabha has complete control over a government. So whenever Lok Sabha wishes, it can make the government to fall. Okay, it can make the government to fall. So in this case comes no confidence motion. So if someone if people think that, if the Lok Sabha members think that they are not happy with the government, they want to remove the government, so then what is the procedure involved? So the procedure involved is like this. So at least 50 members support is required. It means among the 545 members, at least 50 members together, they will submit a motion to speaker. How many members? Among the 545, at least 50 members. So they will say, we want to move no confidence motion. To whom they will submit? They will submit to speaker. So once the speaker accepts, then the discussion will start. So once the discussion starts, and if this no confidence motion, it gets a support of more than 273 members. If it gets a support of more than 273 members, then it means no confidence motion has been passed. So no confidence motion means Lok Sabha does not have a confidence on the government. So when Lok Sabha does not have a confidence on the government, then it has to resign. Government has to resign. When Lok Sabha does not have a confidence on government, then government has to resign and new government will come. Okay, that is, new ministers will take the oath. Okay. So for that to happen, we require no confidence motion. Here, very important point to note is, whenever we are initiating a no confidence motion, we do not need to state any reasons. Okay. In the forthcoming discussion, we will be seeing that for few of the motions we are required to state reasons, means why we are initiating the particular motion. But while initiating no confidence motion, we need not state the reasons why we are moving this motion. We are not required to state the reasons. Next, no confidence motion is not against a single minister, but it is against entire council of ministers. Okay, entire council of ministers, very important. Next, passed. If no confidence motion is passed, then ministers have to resign. Entire council of ministers have to resign. Next, no confidence motion, it cannot be used in Rajya Sabha, because government is responsible only to Lok Sabha and it is not responsible to Rajya Sabha. Okay, it is not responsible to Rajya Sabha. Okay, very important. Next, similar to no confidence motion, we have censure motion. Okay, we have censure motion. So here also, MP, Lok Sabha MP. Okay, so this is our government, council of ministers headed by Prime Minister. So there are many ministers. Let us assume Home Minister. Okay, Home Minister. So here in case of censure motion, if Home Minister is not doing his job properly, okay, he is not doing his job properly, then a MP will stand up and will submit a motion saying that censure motion. Okay, censure motion. Censure means we are disapproving the activities of Home Minister. Okay, Home Minister. Non-confidence motion is we are disapproving the entire council of ministers, but here censure motion means we are disapproving the activities of only a particular minister. Okay, particular minister. So here in case of no confidence motion, we are not expected to quote the reason, but when it comes to censure motion, we have to give the reasons why we are starting a censure motion. Okay, what are the reasons that we are initiating a censure motion against a particular minister? Next, here it can be moved against an individual minister or group. It means it can be moved against one single minister or group of minister. For example, finance minister, defense minister, and home minister. So all three together also, it can be initiated either against a single minister or a group of ministers. Next, it will censure specific policies. Okay, it means it will not censure or disapprove the entire policies of the government, but few of the policies that have been taken by few of the ministries, only those policies it will disapprove. Okay, disapprove. Next, when censure motion is passed, whether the Council of Ministers is supposed to resign? No, not necessary. So Council of Ministers need not necessarily resign when censure motion is passed. Okay, censure motion is passed. But when no confidence motion is passed, definitely they have to resign. Next, one more very important, motion of thanks. Okay, motion of thanks. So what is this motion of thanks? So first session after general election. So GE is nothing but general election. So what is general election? So whatever the Lok Sabha elections that usually take place once in a 5 years, so that is called as general election. So financial year. So financial year is from April 1 to March 30. Okay, March 31. Okay, March 31. So this is called as financial year. So after general election, first time when Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha meets. Okay, this is Lok Sabha and this is Rajya Sabha. First time when Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha meets. And also every financial year, the first session. Okay, the first session. So it will be commonly addressed by President. Means President will address both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. It means President will give a talk to both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So in this talk, what the President will do? President will highlight the policies. Highlight the policies of government. Okay. It means Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister, whatever the new policies or schemes that they want to bring, so everything will be highlighted. Okay, highlighted. So after listening to the speech, a debate will take place. So in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, discussion will take place. After discussing, it will be put to vote. Okay, put to vote. So what is that put to vote? So we want to thank the President. President has already addressed us, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now Lok Sabha want to thank President. Okay, how Lok Sabha will thank President? Lok Sabha will thank President by passing motion of thanks. By passing motion of thanks. It means motion of thanks has to receive a support of 273 members. So what does it indicate? It means whatever the points the President has highlighted, so Lok Sabha is happy with it. So it means Lok Sabha has a confidence on government. Okay, confidence on government. So if suppose motion of thanks is not passed by Lok Sabha, it indicates Lok Sabha is not happy with the government. Lok Sabha is not happy with the government. So that is why it is very important here that motion of thanks has to be passed. If it is not passed, if motion of thanks is not passed, then it is equivalent to defeat of government. Okay, it is defeat of government. So here we have to understand that when it comes to no confidence motion, motion of thanks is a reverse of it. So if no confidence motion is passed, then it is against the government. But if motion of thanks is not passed, then it is against the government. Okay, it is against the government. So generally motion of thanks is used to criticize the government, because when the President announces something, it will not be the President's own ideas, it will be the ideas that have been proposed by Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. So when the ideas are proposed in Lok Sabha, so the opposition members who are sitting over here, so they will use this occasion to criticize the policies of the government. Okay, to criticize the policies of the government, very important. Next, there are few of the motions not that much important. So no day yet named motion. It means a motion has been admitted by the speaker, but the time and date when the discussion has to be started, it is not yet fixed by Business Advisory Committee. Okay, but not that much important. Next, point of order. Yes, it is important. So let us try to understand a point of order with the help of an example. So whenever there is a violation of normal rules of procedure, or whenever there is a misinterpretation, or there is a wrong enforcement, then somebody will raise point of order. Okay, point of order. So let us take an example. So here we have speaker. So here in Lok Sabha we have, let us assume, member 1, member 2, member 3, member 4. So all of them, they are members of Lok Sabha. Members of Lok Sabha. Now let us assume among these 4 ministers, member 1 is minister. And all the other three, they are not ministers. They are not ministers. So let us assume the parliamentary procedure is like this. Whenever member 4, he wants to ask a question to M1, okay, minister, directly he will not ask a question. So he will ask a question to speaker, okay. So that will be answered, that question will be answered by minister. So directly M4 will not address minister M1, answer me this question, he cannot say this. So this is a normal procedure. That member 4 will ask speaker, then minister will respond to speaker. Minister will respond to speaker. So this is a convention. Now someone stands up, so without knowing the procedure, if he asks the question directly to minister, so give me the reply for this question. If he asks like this, then it means there is a violation of the rules, okay, or normal interpretation or reinforcement, some violation has taken place. So when someone raises a point of order, and if that point of order is accepted by the speaker, then what happens? Whatever the discussions that are going on, that will be suspended. Okay. When the point of order raised by a member is accepted by the speaker, then whatever the discussions that are going on, they will be paused there itself and no debate will take place. Very important. Okay. So whenever the discussions, whenever point of order is raised and the discussions are suspended, no debate can take place on that particular matter. Very important. Okay, very important. Next, similarly, while going through Lakshmikant, you will come across half an hour discussion and all. So not important. Okay, not important. Short duration discussion, not important. So special mention. So sometimes when you want to initiate a kind of discussion with the help of a motion, but we do not have any relevant motion to discuss that matter. In such cases, we can initiate the discussion on such matters using a tool called as special mention. Special mention. Okay. Next, resolutions. Now, most of the times initially we get confused a lot between the motions and resolutions. So now do not get confused a lot, just understand at the superficial level. So resolutions are almost similar to motions. Just keep this in mind. Only few points we shall remember about what resolutions. So resolutions similar to motions, they are used to seek the attention of the house, attention of the Lok Sabha members, attention of the government, that is Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. Okay, and to discuss what kind of matter? Matters of general public importance. So matters of general public importance can be discussed with the help of resolution by seeking the attention of the house as well as seeking the attention of the government. Next, resolutions cannot be withdrawn without the leave of the house. It means resolution can be withdrawn only with the leave of the house. So what does it mean? So speaker, here we have speaker. So a Lok Sabha MP1 will submit a resolution to speaker saying that let us discuss on earthquake. He'll submit a resolution to speaker saying that let us have a discussion on earthquake which has happened in Gujarat. Now speaker will accept and he wants all the Lok Sabha members, okay, MP1 to MP 544. So speaker expects all the 544 members to discuss on that matter, that is on earthquake that has taken place in Gujarat. Okay, Gujarat. Now MP1 feels that unnecessarily I have brought this issue, so let me not give further credence to it. So let me stop it. Let me withdraw it. So now MP1 he wants to withdraw the discussion on earthquake. Okay, he wants to withdraw discussion on earthquake. But now once the speaker has accepted, now MP1 he cannot withdraw it. So in order to withdraw, he requires the permission of what? Lok Sabha members. Only 573 members say yes, then whatever the matter he has submitted, he can withdraw. Okay, leave of the house. So just understand at the superficial level. Next, in resolutions, again there are private members resolution. So what is private member? A person who is not a minister, he is called as private member. So here we understand that even a private member can initiate a resolution. Okay, initiate resolution. Next, what is government resolution? Government resolution is one where resolution has been introduced by minister or brought by minister. Next, statutory resolution. So whenever we want to pass a bill and all, we call it a statutory resolution. So Again, statutory resolution we'll be discussing in detail in forthcoming classes. So it can be private, it can be introduced by a private member or a minister. Next, very important is all resolutions are substantive motions. Very important. All resolutions are substantive motions. Okay, only this much superficially you understand. All resolutions are substantive motions. One more important is every resolution requires a voting. Okay, whenever you bring a resolution and when you want to conclude the discussion on that particular resolution, that has to end with what? Voting. So whether every motion has to end with a voting? Not necessary. But every resolution has to end with a voting. Okay, end with a voting. So this is the fundamental difference between what? Motion and resolution. So every resolution is a substantive motion. Every resolution requires voting, but every motion does not require voting. Okay. So in this class, we discussed about the tools that are used in the parliament or devices that are used in the parliamentary proceedings. We discussed about question hour, we discussed about 0 hour, we discussed about the various motions like adjournment motion, no confidence motion, and point of order, and we also finally discussed about the difference between motions and resolutions. So similarly, in the forthcoming classes, we'll be discussing about all the important topics related to polity. For all our further updates, subscribe to our channel and hit on the bell icon. Thank you.